everyone, it's Lily Dowse here at AIBC/𝐶𝐭 in Asia 2023, and I am joined by Moritz Gastl, and you are the director at Binance. So it's exciting to have you here. Why don't you explain a little bit about your position at Binance?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting to speak to you. So I'm a director at Binance and I lead operations in Asia. I've been with the company for, I think, a bit longer than a year now. And before that, I was in traditional finance. So in TradFi, I was spending a lot of time in the large banking institutions, a bit of time in initially London, then moved out to Hong Kong. And now I spend a lot of time across mostly Southeast Asia.
Amazing. I actually have a corporate background myself, so I know the difference of moving from corporate into more of a decentralized way of working and lifestyle. So it's amazing. And I've been hearing a lot about, especially in the Philippines, how regulated the industry is. So Binance has ability to operate in the Philippines. That's correct?
So specifically in the Philippines, we don't yet have a license. So we have a similar approach to other Asian countries where we're really working closely with the regulators because we do want to get licensed. So we're in close contact with both the SEC, with the BSP to find ways of actually obtaining a license. The issue for us in the Philippines was clearly that when we came into the market, there was already a moratorium issued by the central bank in terms of how many licenses actually can get issued. But yeah, I mean, our approach overall as a company is still very much, we do want to be regulated and we welcome all the regulation, because ultimately I think that brings the overall industry into the right direction. And yeah, we're staying in close contact with the regulator here.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is actually very important as an industry for people to see that there are ways to regulate and you can still operate in a regulated society, and especially someone as big as Binance, it's huge what you guys are doing in the space. So in terms of obviously working at Binance, what are some of the big trends that you're seeing this year? What is big in the crypto space?
Sure. I would say at the moment, everyone is bickering a bit about the fact that the market isn't as good as it used to be. But what I said earlier on stage as well is the fact that we just celebrated our 6-year anniversary. I think it was officially on 14th of July 2017. So we celebrated a couple of days ago. If you consider the fact that we've only been around for 6 years, we've actually achieved so much and we've actually seen so many ups and downs in the industry. So as far as Binance is concerned, we're actually not bogged down by anything that's happening in the market, whether like Bitcoin is up or down, whether Ethereum is up or down. We really just focus on continue to build products for our customers, continue to meet regulatory demands, continue to really build an exchange that delivers financial freedom to customers. So I don't think that has actually changed dramatically over the last couple of months or years even. I think it's always been the same. And obviously there is problems and roadblocks along the way, because certain things that where you're pushing the boundaries a bit in a new industry, certain things they may not be perceived as you would like them to be perceived. Certain things they may actually fall under a different regulatory category than expected. Certain things are just not picking up by the customer. So we're constantly iterating, talking to our customers, figuring out how do we actually give access to products that they otherwise don't have. I mean, to give you a very Philippine-specific example, the Philippines still, I think, has an underbanked population of about 70%. I think 10% is underbanked, and then maybe I would say 15 to 20% actually do have a bank account. So here's the perfect example where through Binance or through crypto, in fact, you actually get access to financial products that otherwise you don't get access to. So it's all about delivering financial freedom to the customer here.
Yeah, for sure. We've been actually discussing about that earlier and how crypto is so important, especially in the more Eastern world, because of the fact that there's so many people that don't have access to certain things, which we have potentially a lot more in the West, I would say. So it really is a huge market here in Asia. And what are Binance doing in order to stay very relative in the market? I mean, I was approached the other day about doing a Binance Live, which I think is a really cool thing going on. But what are Binance up to keep them being such a global giant?
Well, I can also double down on the Binance Live invitation. I think that's something we are extensively doing. But I think that's just part of a larger picture, which is really specifically, I speak mostly for Asia and APAC, which is specifically around education, right? Because the truth is, even though we have a lot of customers already on our platform, the truth is that there is still a lack of education. And a lot of customers have come onto the platform not actually knowing what exists on the platform. And then they're trying things out, they're trying new products. So it's really all about like teaching our user base like what is on Binance, but also teach new customers to the ways of working, the ways of operating inside of Binance, inside crypto. And we're doing this also primarily through an avenue called Binance Academy. So we're working with a lot of universities, we're working with a lot of like government entities, for instance, to just bring our curriculum to the masses. And one other avenue how we spread kind of the word on Binance Live would, for instance, be Binance Academy would, for instance, be the Binance Live, right? But at the same time, we've become also a bit more selective about it. Also, of course, as a function of the market being not as strong as it was, I would say, 6 months ago. So we're really looking, okay, which government entity can we work with to have the most impact? Which university can we work with to have the most impact? To really bring it to students, to people that have the most desire to actually learn about it and really like bring then crypto to the masses. And I would say that's one of our biggest efforts to really keep relevant. And on top of that, connected to the 6-year anniversary that I've just mentioned, I think we're spending a lot of time on building a community, right? Being present here at this event, I think is part of our community efforts of like getting closer to the customer, like speaking to people, getting feedback. Like just earlier, I've been approached by many people that said, hey, I have something that I can offer for Binance. Hey, I have a recommendation. This is what you should change on the platform. So that's really, I think, what we're focusing on at the moment.
Wow, that is impressive. I can imagine the amount of people that are like, I've done this in the app, I've tried this, because it is forever changing as well. Even I go onto the app and sometimes I'm like, I didn't even know this existed. And it's probably because it's a new product. So it's forever changing. And it's because this industry is always growing. As you say, Binance has only been around 6 years. And it's crazy because it's almost ingrained in our head that they're this huge company. 6 years is so young for a business. And when we talk about the Asian market specifically, do you have any extra plans in Asia? How do you see the market progressing? I mean, you're based here. So what's your advice?
I would say Asia is a super, or like when I speak about Asia, I primarily speak about APAC. I mean, it's like some inclusion and exclusions, but Asia is a super exciting market for us. Exciting, why? Is because generally the crypto adoption here like far exceeds the crypto adoption of, let's say, other Western markets. Of course, if you look at it on a per user basis, there's just more disposable income, so people tend to trade a bit more in other markets. But at the same time, the fact that we have a lot of active users out here in Asia gives us a lot of confidence that this is a good market for us to be. At the same time, though, we also see, like from a regulatory perspective, for instance, we see varying like differences or glaring differences between the different countries, right? It's like everyone is kind of taking a different approach. Some, I would say, regulatory wise are closer to the US. Otherwise, others are following, let's say, China, now looking at Hong Kong. So I think it's very difficult to stay abreast of all of that. Considering that, like, let's say you go into one market and one market says, like, welcomes you with open arms and says, work with us, let's do everything. The other market says, we don't want any crypto companies, whether that's Binance or someone else. So that's really like difficult sometimes to navigate that a bit. But at the same time, we are fully committed across Asia, and we're trying to work it out in each and every country. It's because we truly believe that if you just look at like the distribution of the world's population, there's so much opportunity here, and that's obviously underpinned by the active user base that we have here. And last but not least, again, I take the Philippines as an example. A lot of customers in the Philippines actually came onto the platform through a game called Axie Infinity, which was like in the play to earn movement. And even though that has died down a bit, I think there is more and more applications that, whether that's play to earn or something else, there's more applications that are being built on the blockchain, right? More tokens being offered, and therefore more opportunities for people to come into the space, right? And there will be the next kind of like frontier that will bring people on. Maybe that's in the Philippines, maybe that's in Vietnam, maybe that's in South Korea, we don't know, right? But like we're very committed, because by the time that frontier is coming, we want to be there to kind of seize the opportunity.
For sure, I think that's why events like this are so important, because there's so many parts of the blockchain which can help even one user get on board and join something like Binance to understand crypto without even really having to understand crypto. And it's that making it easy for people, realizing that there is this whole blockchain community out there and you can tap into it. And cryptocurrency isn't simply just something in a wallet. It has utilities as well that you can use for gaming and lots of different things. So hence, obviously, you being here at AIBC today. So what are you looking to get out the next couple of days? What excites you about being here at these big events?
I mean, from a very personal perspective, if I take my Binance hat off for a second, like it's always great to kind of like get out of the working groove and actually go out and meet users and meet customers. So just after the talk, as I mentioned earlier, there was a bunch of like service providers that came to me and says, hey, this would be great for Binance. We have an API here. We can integrate with you. This is what we can do. So I imagine a lot of, let's say, my day to day, like really being dominated by that, which is also extremely interesting. But I do also hope that I will still have time, whether that's today or tomorrow, to just go around, look at all the booths that are here, look at all the exhibitors, like speak to people, attend the dinners, and really understand, like, how can we help you? Like, what do you actually think of Binance? How can you be a part of the Binance ecosystem? And just overall get feedback, right? Like, dive into the community and understand, like, what can we do better? And maybe there's also other frontiers that are interesting, or are different, like other things that are being built that we can learn from, right? Things we can adopt. I know there's a lot of like gaming participation here as well, which is actually not a expertise area of myself. So I'm looking forward to learn a lot more about that and see how we basically can see synergies between Binance and them.
I love how you said, let me see how we can help you, because I think that is so important in this industry. Is if you want to better yourself, you need to better others, help them to establish their businesses, because you never know. One of these could be like a unicorn business, which even can help boost your business. So it's worth spending time at events like this. And also, it's just fun to get everyone together in the space as well. So thank you so much, Moritz, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you here. Enjoy the next couple of days.
Thank you so much for having me.